These 5 steps will help you retire in your 30s and ball out before you're too old to enjoy it, letting you quit your job for life. But you better get started quick. The earlier you start, the sooner you'll be able to retire. Don't let time fade away working jobs you hate. So step 1, to retire early, you need to start thinking of yourself as a small business, not some person who lives for the dopamine hit of the buy now button on Amazon. Which sucks, because man does it feel good when that package arrives. But thinking of yourself as a small business will change your life. The first thing businesses do is they know exactly where their money is going and they cut out inessential spending, which means you've got to do the same. But before you start turning yourself into an accountant, you need to prepare yourself for one thing that'll help with this transformation: delayed gratification. See, the more you spend, the more your brain enjoys it, pumping your system full of dopamine. This strengthens that harmful addictive habit of careless spending, keeping you trapped in that job you hate. But if you kick that habit, you can literally quit working forever. I'll explain exactly how later, but for now, focus on thinking about delayed gratification this way. The more you stop yourself from feeling good from spending in the short term, the more money you'll have in the long term. It's as if you've got this money counter ticking next to you.
And to help illustrate, here's my friend Dan.
Hey. I'm
All right, Dan's gonna be doing a squat, and for every second he lasts, he's gonna get $1. Ready, set. All right, we'll check back in a second.
On the expense tracking, there's dozens of apps for this. I use one called Personal Capital. It's free and does a good job tracking everything. I'll have them linked down below if you want to try them out. As soon as you start tracking every dollar for just 1 month, you'll get a punch in the gut, mentally, but it'll feel physical. I guarantee you'll be surprised about how much you spend. You don't even realize.
Feeling strong?
I did legs this morning.
I got a deal for you. You're at 15 seconds. If you quit right now, I'll give you $100. What do you say?
No, I'm good.
Figured you'd say no, but part of me was like, is he just gonna take the $100 and be done?
Now, once you start tracking, you need to determine how much spending is on the essentials. This is the exact strategy used by an online community of people that help others retire early. I'll go into them and their secrets in a second, but first you need to focus on the stuff you absolutely need. Rent, bills, food, health insurance, minimum payments on any debt that you have to pay off. Add these monthly expenses up and multiply it by 12. This is your annual essential expenses. If you were a business, this would be your break-even point. How much money you need to make to start taking home some profit. It might seem weird to think of yourself as a business, but trust me, it's not that weird. A business takes in labor and money to produce stuff and take home profit. You take in food and money to produce labor and ideally take home profit. And how does a business grow into a larger, more successful business? They track everything, eliminate waste, turn a profit, and reinvest into themselves. I'm sure you see what I'm getting at here. Are you ready to reinvest into yourself? If you're still here, then probably yes. Now comes the painful part. You have a picture of your spending. Now you need to ask yourself, what are the non-essentials? And the tough answer is pretty much anything that doesn't keep your heart beating or improve your work, provided you're comfortable with that level of frugality. But you need to be extreme if you want extreme results. I find the easiest way to do this is pretend you're looking at someone else's bills when marking what isn't essential. That'll help kind of take you out of the action. I've been here myself. I personally lived off past expiration food from this discount grocery store for years while I was trying to reinvest everything back into my businesses. And that seriously helped enable me to earn millions in my 20s. Now I live right by the beach in Puerto Rico, which is great when the weather's nice.
Dan, you're currently at 30 seconds. I have another deal. I'll give you 30 seconds rest, but your current money will cut in half. What do you say?
No, knowing you, I'm going to stick with it.
So what are some easier ways to cut spending? Well, I've got 2. First is live at home, like with your parents, when possible. It's far from ideal, but if you can do it, you're cutting out rent payments, the most significant chunk of your paycheck. But the good news is you're not alone. 52% of young adults are doing it these days. Next, follow the stop flexing rule, which means stop flexing. If deep down you're buying something to flex how great you are, clothes, car, phone, 18th century samurai armor, don't do it. It's a huge money sink that you can use to reinvest instead and get closer to retirement. And let's be honest, no one gives a shit about your flexing. A much bigger flex is to be 30 and retired while everyone else is working paycheck to paycheck. So now you're thinking we go straight to investing, right? Well,
knock, knock.
As Warren Buffett once said, there will be some incident. It could be tomorrow. At that time, you need cash. Cash at that time is like oxygen. When you don't need it, you don't notice it. When you do need it, it's the only thing you need. He couldn't be more right. While you want to save up as quickly as possible to retire early, you've got to realize that things can go bad fast. So get yourself an emergency fund like Warren Buffett. Save up a nice little nest egg of $20 billion. Okay. Not really, but you want 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This will cover your ass if you're unemployed, sick, your car breaks down, girlfriend steals your 18th century samurai armor that you shouldn't have bought in the first place, or you're looking to pivot into some new career.
Is life fair, or does it sometimes throw curveballs at you?
I think today I've been thrown a curveball. Thanks. If you make me tear my jorts, you're buying me a new pair.
Okay, you figured out your spending, cut it down, and got started with your emergency fund. Now you need to look at your freedom number. And no, I'm not talking about the number of times you can take your dick out in public. Freedom number is the total assets and investments you need to have locked in to live off of passively. To figure this out, take your annual expenses and multiply the total by 25. This is the 25x rule, and it'll tell you the amount you need to save. 25,000 times 25, you need 625K. 50,000 times 25, you need 1.25 million. 100,000 times 25. Now you probably realize one thing. It's a lot of money no matter which you choose. But once you have it, you can use a little something that was discovered by 3 finance professors. It's called the 4% rule. This is where you withdraw 4% of your total investment each year to pay for your entire life. But the beauty is that because you save so much, your money keeps growing despite the payments to yourself, meaning you could live off that same stack of money forever.
I'd buy that for $1.
This is a rule of thumb, and inflation definitely plays a role, but as a general principle, it's pretty sound. For it to work though, you need the freedom number that you calculated based on your personal expenses. And to hit that number, you want to be saving as close to 70% of your income as possible, especially if you want to pull this off within a decade. It's not easy. It's probably the hardest thing you'll ever do, and that's why most people never do it. So I guess the question is, do you want to be most people? Going back to you being a small business, saving and investing is prioritizing long-term wealth over short-term cash flow. Cash flow means lifestyle creep, which generally means more pointless luxury. Wealth means your money grows with you and helps you retire early. It might sound like a lot, but remember the alternative. Now, this doesn't mean you have to follow the rule to a T. Remember when I mentioned the community that helps people retire early? Well, they're called FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And when it comes to how much you spend, there are different types of FIRE. Coast FIRE. It's where you save enough money to stop contributing to your savings and still reach FIRE in the future. Barista FIRE. This is where you have enough money to retire early, but you still work part-time for an income top-up and health insurance. Lean FIRE. This is where you live as frugally as possible and retire with a very tight budget. Traditional FIRE. This is where you accumulate 25 times your annual expenses and use the 4% rule to retire. Fat FIRE. This is where you retire early with more money and less frugality, living on a big fat nest egg. So you can choose which one makes the most sense, but regardless of which, you still need to invest. How do you invest in order to reach retirement as soon as possible? There's some pretty easy advice on this, and again, it comes from Warren Buffett. Put 10% of the cash in short-term government bonds and 90% in a very low-cost S&P 500 index fund. If you invested in a very low-cost index fund, where you don't put the money in at one time but average in over 10 years, you'll do better than 90% of people who start investing at the same time. And like most things Buffett says, he's right. Low-cost S&P 500 index funds have outperformed real estate and mutual funds, and they couldn't be easier to use. You just buy them and your money grows over time. They work by tracking the market. The market goes up, the index fund goes up. The market goes down, the index fund goes down. Instead of owning specific stocks, you own the entire market, which is about as diversified as it gets. Given how well it performs, this is going to be a great way for you to build your pool of investments over time, getting you closer to the point where you can withdraw 4% each year, paying for all of your monthly bills, maybe even more.
By the way, if you're looking for the best app to buy stocks, here's one that I've been using for about 2 years, Webull. They let you do basically everything: buy stocks, get retirement accounts, fractional shares, options, anything you can think of. Plus, they're offering a deal right now, I just checked, where you get up to 12 stocks for free. just for joining and depositing some money. So if you want some free money, you want some good service, check them out, link down below.
So here are some actionable steps for you right now. Pay off any high interest debts like credit card debt. That cancels out any stock market return you could ever get. So take care of that first. Always focus on the highest interest debts first. Those eat you alive. Then invest in the S&P 500. Unless you have a 401k that offers a solid matching scheme, then do that first. That's basically free money if you have the option. Invest in an IRA. This will help you save money and cut tax at the same time. Keep an eye on your credit score. This isn't essential, but it'll come in handy later in life when you want to buy big things like houses. Oh, and also make sure you always reinvest dividends. You're in this for the long haul. But of all of these, paying off debt is the most important, so make sure you hit that first or it'll negate your stock market gains. Trust me, this is not a weight you want dragging you down.
All right, emergency over. No more wait. How long do you think you can go?
3 minutes. 2:59. My hands are asleep.
We need the Eye of the Tiger playing.
Come on. Hey Siri, play Eye of the Tiger.
You've probably realized that as much as you cut spending, increase savings, and invest wisely, your results are still highly impacted by your income. So how do you earn more? I mean, making more from your investments is great, but that's not going to help you in the short term. Only income streams are going to get you fast money. Your first is employment. And a good trick here is to look at whether you're getting paid for time or results. If your job is results-based, that position is simply way more valuable to your employer as those results are directly related to them making money. Take sales. You make money because your employer is also making money. If you can make the shift to a results-based job, consider it, as you'll likely get paid much more. Beyond this, consider building another income stream, ideally one that's scalable. The easiest to get into is freelancing. If you have a skill, there are countless sites that allow you to market yourself and make some extra income on the side. However, if your gig revolves around you spending time on it, it's not going to be very scalable. So try to find something that has the possibility to delegate work out to others, or one that you can build now and reap rewards later without too much of your time. When thinking of any side hustle, make sure you're playing to your interests and strengths. For example, I diversify my income streams into consulting on marketing, business, and content strategy, real estate. I own a moving and storage business. I have this YouTube channel, and I have an exclusive finance site called Finova. There, I'm able to take the concepts that I introduce on YouTube and really put them under a microscope and teach much more in depth. We have live coaching every single day. We have exclusive research reports and a community of thousands of members helping each other and learning how to earn enough to dictate the direction of their own lives. That'll be linked down below with a 7-day free trial. The main idea here is a 5-step formula that works together. You delay gratification, track your spending, cut bad spending, save for emergencies and investments, put your money into proven funds, and then pursue more income over a period of years. The more you do each element, the more each element feeds into the others, shooting you like a rocket towards retirement. And it might sound difficult because it is. It's not for everyone. But if you can handle it, the math is on your side. What would you do if you could retire today? Would you travel the world, write a book, start that game-changing business you've always dreamed about? You could do anything. You could even subscribe to the channel down below.
Where's all your blood?
Filling of my jorts.
Filling my jorts.
There's something filling my jorts, and it's probably not blood. Hey, look, we're at 3
we
minutes.
beat 3 minutes. Okay, we're coming up on $200 here.
What? You never mentioned anything about money.
Dude, it's $1 a second.
Oh, okay.
How don't you know this?
I wasn't listening.
You just wanted to do this? How do you feel?
I don't feel.
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
You should feel my leg, or not feel. You should feel the way my legs feel.